Safe, sir. Don't worry.
So, sir, we will start now. Probably some more
Please,
people will
please.
join as we go along,
Yeah.
but we will start.
I'll mute.
In the interest of time, we'll start now. So, I welcome you all for joining this session. Thank you very much. Today, we are going to talk about how to be ready for any emergency situation of a fire happening in our vicinity, and how to handle the equipment which are at our disposal in our AT, and to know the basic things or to do and basic training about firefighting. So that is the topic for today. We have Mr. Jujair Madarwala, who is from Vexifire. Vexifire is Ashok Towers consultant for maintaining the fire systems within Ashok Towers, and he is founder and CEO of Vexifire. So the agenda for the session we have is that today I have some introductory slides, and then we have a video. We have prepared a video showing all the Ashok Tower fire equipment system, how to operate them, and what are the, in any emergency, what are the actual steps which you need to take. And then there will be a short presentation by Mr. Madarwala on some other aspects of firefighting. So with that, I'll project some introductory slides. So AT fire systems basically have a proper and big hydrant system, which you have on every floor. There is a hydrant system and pipes are there, and then fire extinguishers. Then we have alarm system and all. So we have prepared a video where Mr. Prafulla Shardul of Vexifire, he has explained all the AT fire systems, and Shruti and Aditi have shot and edited and prepared this video. So from some basic points which I want to highlight to everybody is that from our readiness perspective, all of us should inculcate a discipline of doing a 15 minutes within our own family and staff, a 15 minutes discussion or a training every quarter, so that everybody is all the time ready, and they can understand what are the steps they have to take. And everybody should be in the flat, because you don't know who is going to be there in the flat in an emergency situation, or which neighbor will be there. So it's imperative that every AT resident should know about these steps. There are some internal guidelines within the flat, what all can we do, and some of these things Mr. Madarwala will talk a lot more in his presentation. On outside the flat, what all are our readiness, clear passages and staircases, which MENCOM has been stressing all the time. Fire doors have already been installed, and not to use lifts and use only staircases. In case of any incident of fire, the first action which can happen is calling facilities, using our internal measures of putting water, using water, etc. And then the floor measures of manual call point, extinguisher and hydrant system, and how to use all this in a proper detail and stepwise mechanism. It is explained in the video, which we are going to show just now. So for a fire safe AT, all of us, and everybody individually and collectively, we are responsible. So every adult, teenager, maid, staff member should be fire trained on a regular basis. Immediate critical help can be achieved through self-skill and neighbors only, because even society personnel will take a few minutes to arrive, and fire brigade will anyway take about half an hour or so at least to arrive. So it is all depends on self-help, which is the most critical thing. And as AT, we spend a lot of money annually to maintain our fire readiness, and we have one of the best equipment systems. But any untrained person can be the weakest link in the chain. And a chain, as all we know, is only as strong as its weakest link. So all of us need to take firefighting skills very, very seriously. And with that, I'll stop the slides and I'll open the video.
My name is Praful Shardul. I'm heading Vexifire business of Elixir Engineering. and today we are here to demonstrate the fire equipment of Ashok Tower. Along with me, I have my senior service manager, Mr. Sriram Sawan. Mr. Akash Magar is our fire marshal. Mr. Kunal is our technical manager from Sila facility team, and along with them, these are the security, or we can call them as a fire marshal or supports team. So today we will demonstrate you the equipment operation of Ashok Tower. Come. So there is a fire call at 15th floor. Once you get the fire, you have to generate fire call by pull MCP. You have to take the extinguisher and expose it. You have to use this extinguisher. See, in case of fire incident, if you notice any kind of fire, first of all, you have to come down to the outside the premises. You can see this kind of red device is installed. We call this a device as a manual call point. You need to just press this. Once you press, this alarm gets generated. So that entire building and central fire alarm systems will come to know there is a fire on 15th floor.
So, was there a glass here?
Yes, this is the glass only.
Acha, okay.
Okay, you have to just press it. So this will generate an alarm. And entire building and central system will come to know there is a fire alarm on 15th floor.
Okay.
Suppose that you have to take this fire extinguisher, okay, and take it to the
Right. To
right
the
place where fire incident
Okay.
is happening. Now I will tell you how to use this fire.
Yeah.
On every floor of Ashok Tower, this kind of evacuation plan is also placed. This is the plan which tells you in case of fire what action you have to take or where to go. If you check, you come closer. If you check, we are on 15th floor. So once there is a fire on 15th floor, you can directly go to the refuse area, which is one floor down, so that you will reach the safe place. Refuse area is the safe place
Okay.
in case of fire incident.
Right.
On every floor of Ashok Tower or any building, that there is a fire shaft. Fire shaft, you can check, there is a tagging also, fire fighting shaft. That means the equipment which are necessary to fight with the fire, these all equipments are kept in this shaft. Now how you can open this shaft? There is a key placed over here along with the hammer. In case of big fire, which is you may not be able to extinguish using extinguisher.
Right.
To extinguish that kind of fire, you can just break this glass,
Okay.
take this key
Okay.
and open this shaft.
This door, the key is for this door.
Yes, for this door.
Okay.
Okay. Once you open this, there are so many equipments installed in every floor of the Ashok Tower building. I'll tell you one by one what are the equipments installed in this shaft, how to use this,
Yeah.
every equipment.
Fine.
We'll now practically demonstrate how to use these equipments. Okay, so now we'll see the demonstration of how to use fire equipments which are placed in every fire shaft. Please come. This red box, this is called as hose reel drum. Now how we can use and when we have to use this?
Okay.
If we found the fire is bigger, which we are not able to extinguish using fire extinguisher, you can use this hose reel drum. Now how to use this? There is a procedure to use this hose reel drum in case of big fire.
Okay.
Okay.
1 second.
This is called a ball wall. These ball walls we have to open first of all to get water out of this pipe.
Okay.
Okay, now we'll check live how to use this hose reel drum.
Okay.
हा आता एक मिनिट शूट करणार पहिलं वॉल ओपन करून मग ठीक आहे
धीरे धीरे करिए so that we can see कैसे कर रहे हैं. One second. One second. Okay. Okay. Turning.
Okay. Now you have to pull this pipe, take to the fire incident location.
Okay.
Now considering
One second. थोड़ा धीरे धीरे. I know बाद में पास करना पड़ेगा but just to.
considering there is a fire incident at that location. So this is called shut off nozzle.
One second.
Now I'll tell you how to operate this
One
nozzle.
second. हाँ.
This is called shut off nozzle of hose reel pipe. We'll tell you how to use. We have to clockwise move it. There is a open and on symbol over here. Just remove. Open. So this way,
You have to turn the knob.
yes, you have to turn the knob clockwise, and you can take this pipe to any of the house
And
where
how
fire
long,
is.
how long is the pipe? Does it go till the room inside
Yes,
room?
yes.
Okay. Off. On.
Okay. So in fire shaft, in Ashok Tower, every fire shaft, you will find this kind of equipment installed. We call this as a hydrant point. Okay, this is double side hydrant point. That means from two sides you can take water to extinguish the fire. This entire red pipe which you can
We believe nothing is more precious than life.
Sorry, there is some problem. Just give me a moment, please.
equipment installed. We call this as a hydrant point. Okay, this is double side hydrant point. That means from two sides you can take water to extinguish the fire. This entire red pipe which you can see, this is full of water and fully charged.
Okay.
Okay, as per the capacity required. So now we'll tell you what is this equipment called. This is the two hydrant points and these are wheels. Okay, these points normally use, this is called as hose pipe. Okay, these in case of big fire,
Very big.
the big way, very big. So in case of fire, these hose pipes we have to connect to these hydrant points, and you have to take this.
So either
side.
up or down, wherever.
Yes, up and down you can use both.
Okay.
And you have to just pull. This is called as duplicate. You need to just pull it. You can
Release it.
remove this and
Okay.
just connect this hose pipe to this hydrant point.
Okay.
This is the hose pipe.
Huh.
Once you connect over here, you have to just take down to the fire incident place. This is the wheel. When you rotate clockwise, you will get
The water.
pressurized water
Okay.
at the fire incident, so that you can extinguish that fire as well.
Right.
Okay.
But as you were saying, this cannot be used by one person, right?
This is required at least minimum 2 people, because you have to take this to the fire incident, and it's heavy.
Okay.
Okay.
Start.
So in case of fire, you have to reach refuse area. We are on 15th floor and refuse area is on 14th floor. So use this fire exit to reach refuse floor. Do not panic, go slow.
Wait.
You can see on refuse area, both sides there is a tag called refuse area. We have refuse area at both sides. You can go to any place. So this is the refuse area of 14th floor. So now we are at a common area pump room of Ashok Tower.
Okay, this pump room is
This pump
used
room is
only
the
for common area.
of Ashok Tower. Okay, a common area includes your periphery and your basement.
Okay.
Okay, in basement you can see these kind of equipments are already plugged. This is called as sprinkler.
Okay.
Okay, these sprinklers are connected in the charged water pipeline. Now how it is charged and how it works, will tell you.
And this area is in P1 under A tower.
Under A tower.
Okay.
So every tower on the B1 floor, there is a pump room, dedicated pump room for every tower.
That is in the
In
basement.
the B1 floor basement.
Okay. Under
Okay.
P1.
And we are at P1 common area. Now we'll check what are the equipment installed in pump room and how to, what is the operation of those equipments.
Okay, fine.
Please come. So we are entering in common area pump room. In common area pump room, we have 3 set of pumps. This pump is main sprinkler pump. Just now we checked, there is an equipment sprinkler attached to the charged pipeline on every common area basement. This is the pump which pumps water in auto mode for sprinklers.
Okay, so if there is a fire in any car, it automatically, the sprinkler
There is a-
automatically starts.
Sprinklers in that pipeline, water is already charged. There is a charge, this line is completely charged with the full of water. When there is a fire incident or sprinkler gets active, okay, in case of 56-degree temperature, that bulb of sprinkler get burst and water start discharging. So there is a auto call through system, through
Okay.
pressure sensor to generate or to start this sprinkler. So I'll tell you what are the types of pumps over here installed. This is sprinkler main pump and this is hydrant main pump. Okay, this in periphery area also we have so many hydrant points, and those hydrant points are charged, fully charged. Once there is a fire call or someone tries to use water through those hydrant points, then automatically the pressure gets decreased. So again this pump will automatically start operating to pump the water in that particular hydrant points.
Okay.
So this is the main hydrant point. This is jockey pump. The jockey pump is normally used to maintain the pressure required at the water line. We just saw the sprinkler line, hydrant. So in those lines, to maintain the pressure, normally these jockey pumps we use.
Okay.
Now all these three pumps are getting operated or controlled through this panel.
Okay.
Now we'll see how this works practically. सांगा की जेव्हा आपल्या स्विचच देतो ना तुझं सिग्नल प्रेशर डाऊन कितीचं सेटिंग किती येते 6 kg आणि 6 kg कशासाठी आहे
मैम वहाँ पे जूम करके देखिए यहाँ पर आइए डीजल ये इक्विपमेंट जूम करके दिखाइए ओके ये और वो दिखा दीजिए डायरेक्ट
ठीक है, अभी आप किसके लिए बोल रहे हो?
आई टॉक
Yeah.
अबाउट दिस
now this equipment is called as pressure gauge. As I told, in water pipeline the water is fully charged or pressurized. So this pressure gauge will tell us what is the pressure in the pipeline. Okay, now this entire system works in auto mode. Now what is auto mode? In case, see at the moment 6 kg pressure, you can zoom in and show.
Yeah.
6 kg pressure is maintained in the pipeline, firefighting pipeline. Once it get decreased or it reach to the 4 kg, automatically these pumps will start operate. This we call as cutoff range of the pump. So we'll demonstrate you how it works.
So right now somebody is using the point,
Water line.
water line. Okay.
We can treat this as a fire alarm.
Okay. So if there is
You
a
can see this 6 kg is going down.
So if there is a fire and sprinkler start, this pressure starts going down.
Comes down.
Oh.
This will start come because water is getting discharged from those lines, right?
Correct, correct.
So this pressure will starts coming down. So once it reaches to the cutoff level, automatically this system will start pumping water to the same charge line.
And what is
so
the
that
cutoff level?
it's 4 kg.
Okay.
So what will happen? There will be a continuous flow of water. You will not face any issue with the water supply. See, it is going down.
Yeah. Going to reach 4.
Now you can see this pump has started operating because the cutoff line pressure has reached. You can see the indicator on panel as well that this pump 3 has started operation. Now this pump will try to reach to the 6 kg, okay, and if this pump is not able, then these pumps will automatically support this jockey pump to maintain the pressure. Okay. So now this will try to reach the 6 kg pressure.
To show the use of fire extinguisher, we are putting a fire.
Okay. So now we'll see how to use a fire extinguisher to extinguish fire. I have this equipment which we call as fire extinguisher. As and when there is a fire incident at the nearest place, you will definitely find this equipment which you can use to extinguish the fire. Before you pick up this equipment, make sure on the pressure gauge you need to check whether the extinguisher is pressurized or not. If
So it should be on that green line.
if should be in the green, if you check now it is in the green,
Yeah.
that means this extinguisher is pressurized. We
Okay.
can use it.
Okay.
But if this is on the red line, then there is a no use. If you pick up this at the fire incident location, you will not be able to use extinguisher.
Okay.
So make sure once you pick up any fire extinguisher to extinguish the fire, the pressure, it should be pressurized. This
It
gauge
should be on the
should
green.
indicate green only. Now to use any kind of extinguisher, there is a code. Code means this code is only to explain the use or operation of the extinguisher. We call that pass. Now
Pass.
what is pass?
Hmm.
Pass means press,
Press,
aim,
aim,
squeeze, and sweep.
okay,
This is called pass. So to use any kind of extinguisher, always use this code. We called as pass.
pass.
Now we'll see how practically we can use this extinguisher. For any extinguisher there is a lock. You have to just pull it. There is a pin. You have to pull this pin. Take it and you have to aim to base of the fire.
Okay,
Always use extinguisher from opposite direction of the air wind. परत लावा आता मॅडम करते. Then hold it and just press this. Using this one, yes, directly. And aim to the base of the fire. Unless the fire is extinguished.
yeah,
So we are at a seat or facility office to explain the team. This is called an emergency response team of Ashok Tower. In case of emergency, these are the teams divided, and every team has a leader along with his team. These are all representative at different place of the Ashok Tower premises.
so basically alpha is A, Bravo is B, is that
Yes,
like that?
these are the teams. I'll explain every team and its scope. Now these four teams, first team is Alpha, second is Bravo, third is Charlie, and fourth one is Delta. So every team has a role to perform in case of emergency. So if any kind of emergency, fire emergency call comes, this Alpha team has a role to reach at the fire incident location and support the resident to extinguish the fire or help them in case of their emergency. It could be fire, it could be any other emergency. So Alpha team has a role to support a resident in case of emergency. We have second team, Bravo. Bravo team is having a separate role in which they have to come or gather to the ground floor lobby level of every tower, so that once people evacuate from the tower, they can take them to the safe place. So this is the role given to Bravo team. We have Charlie team. Charlie team is having very important role. We have technical facility team in facility management entire team. To support Charlie team role is to support these technical facility team in case of emergency. Now we have one more team called Delta. Delta is having also a very important role to perform in case of emergency. Delta team normally they manage the crowd. If at the gate, we have several gates of at Ashok Tower. On the gate, vehicle management, or we see normally in case of emergency, lots of people stay together, they come together. So to manage the crowd management, very important task. This Delta team is need to be performed. So these are the 4 teams, and these all teams is having leaders. They have leaders and the roles to perform. These all teams reports to property manager, Mr. Nishant Goyal. This is the role of emergency response team. Okay, so now we are entering in the basement pump room of Tower A. Please come. See, as I told, this kind of pump room setup is dedicated for every tower. Now we are at Tower A. So like this, for every tower we have dedicated firefighting set of pump. So in Tower A, this is the fire tank. This is the fire tank. Fire tank is full of water. It approx 4 lakhs liter water is continuously stored in that water
Tank.
fire tank. You can see this is the outlet of that fire tank. So water comes from this line and it starts pumping or it starts feeding to the pump set. Now we'll check what are the pump setup over here. As you know, Tower A is more than 30 floors. So we have divided these floors or this tower in 2 zones, high zone and low zone. So you can see this is the main sprinkler pump. This is main jockey pump. This is jockey sprinkler pump. This is jockey hydrant pump, hydrant jockey pump, and this one is main hydrant pump. These pumps operate in auto mode. To operate in auto mode, there is a switch or a pressure gauge installed at the outflow of the line, so that in case of pressure down, normally the jockey pump try to maintain the desired pressure of the charge line. Post that, if there is a more requirement of water to use or to fire for the firefighting, then the main pumps come in the picture. It automatically starts pumping water as and where it is getting used. To use this setup, we have.
So 1 minute. First jockey hydrant is used, then the low one, and then the high one.
Yes. No. Whether it is low or high,
Okay.
it will start pumping
With the jockey.
to maintain the desired pressure level.
Okay.
But when there is a more use of water for firefighting, then main pump automatically starts pumping water to the fire line.
Okay.
Now to operate these pumps, we have these fire panels. These panels are, you can say, heart of the system. This controls all these pumps. In case of fire incident, the auto signal or the system works in auto due to this fire pump, fire panel.
Panels.
So every pump is having individual controller. You can say this is the sprinkler jockey with controller. This is sprinkler jockey, hydrant jockey. Then we have sprinkler main and hydrant main. You can see that every pump is in auto mode, so that in case of fire, there is no manual interference or manual intervention required to start the system. The system will automatically provide or supply you the required water to extinguish the fire or to the firefighter. Thank you. So now I'll tell you one more very important equipment of firefighting setup. As you can see, this is the alarm siren. It is for the sprinkler. In case if there is a fire call or any sprinkler burst due to high rise of temperature, then the system will automatically start operating or try to maintain the required or desired pressure over there, and this siren will start giving audio alarm to the nearest to all people, so that they can take action or they can reach to the place where fire incident has happened. So we'll now see, we'll check the audio alarm of sprinkler equipment.
So this was the video which was prepared and explained so very well by Mr. Praful Shardul of Vexifire. Now I'll request Mr. Jujar Madarwala of Vexifire to present some more to do, what all steps we can take inside the flat, etc. So Jujar, you want to start your presentation, please?
Yeah. Give me a minute. Okay. Sorry. Morning, everyone. Ashok Towers, it's a pleasure to be here in the midst of all of you, and really thanks Anil ji for inviting me. And we have been taking care of the fire systems for the last 5 years odd, and we have been having audits and drills conducted regularly, but over the last 1.5 years it's been a little infrequent. So this is a good opportunity to interact once again and refresh the fire basics that we have. We as Vexifire work very closely with Mumbai Fire Brigade and also Mahaseva, which is the Maharashtra Societies Welfare Association. So we act as a link between the societies, the residents, and the fire brigade, and we keep giving feedbacks and other things that is required. So today's this is how can we be safe and be cool at the same time. Okay, now what the objectives of this presentation that I'm going to give is to create awareness regarding fire safety. Most of the things I think have already been covered by the video, and Anil ji has presented it already. And what I will do is I will try and finish this presentation in 45 minutes, because I won't take a very long time. And this will help to improve the understanding of your fire systems a little more than what has been there. So maybe this will be more systematic. And at the end of it, you will have an appreciation of the importance of fire safety, not only at your residences, but also in your workplaces. And I'll end by giving some practical tips of do's and don'ts for fire safety. Okay, fine. It will be nice if you can give some thumbs up or reaction once in a while file, so it will help to tell me that I am on the right track and I am getting through. If there is any questions, please raise a hand and we'll take it as we go along. Okay, we will not wait till the end of the presentation. Fine. Is that good? Can I proceed? Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Mr. Vinod. Yeah. So now when we talk of fire, the first question which comes to mind is what is fire? Okay. So the chemical definition of fire is that it is a process in which a substance combines with oxygen in the presence of heat to create substantially more heat, light, smoke, and it's a process of combustion or burning. Okay, so this is what is a fire. So three things which are needed for a fire, which is fuel, which is the substance that will burn. There has to be oxygen, which is required to assist the burning, and there has to be a source of heat, that is for the ignition to happen. Okay, so three things are required for Mr. Fire to come into existence, right? Now, once we know that there are three things, so that is what creates the fire triangle. This is the basic of fire extinguishing and understanding of fire. So the three things that are required which are part of the fire triangle is oxygen, heat, and fuel. Okay, so now from this triangle and the definition that we understood, we know that all three are required to create a fire. That also means that any one of them not being there, you can't have a fire, right? So the principle of extinguishing of a fire also comes from this. So when you take away the oxygen from a fire, that process is known as smothering. Okay, can anybody tell me what is the normal process of smothering? I think it is when we put a damp cloth or a blanket over a fire, right? So there, what you are doing basically is the fuel is there, the burning substance is still there, the heat is also there, but by putting a blanket on it, you are cutting off the oxygen supply to the fire, so the fire dies down. So that's the smothering process. Then how do you take away the heat? By cooling. So what is the cooling process? I think very simple, everybody would have done it, knows that when you pour water on a fire, basically again what you are doing is you are taking away the heat. The fuel burning substance is still there, and so is the the oxygen, but you're taking away the heat, so the fire dies down. And the third way of killing a fire is by starvation. Anybody can tell me what is the normal method that we use regularly, which can be linked with starvation of fuel? Okay, so that's when you turn off the knob of a gas stove, right? So what happens is the flame dies down. Why? The oxygen is there, the heat is there, but there's no longer any fuel. So the fire dies down, right? So these are the three methods of extinguishing a fire. Can I take it forward? Okay. So now, once we know what leads to fire and how it can be extinguished, so we'll come to what are the systems that help us in extinguishing the fire. Okay, so what are the different fire systems? So the most common, I think in the video also we saw, is the fire extinguisher. This is the first aid. If you look at it from a health perspective, medical perspective, this is the first aid. Any small fire can be taken extinguished with a fire extinguisher. So there are different forms of fire extinguisher, but we'll concentrate on only two, that is the powder form and the carbon dioxide. The water and the foam type are no longer in use. They are very bulky and not very efficient. So the powder type of a fire extinguisher is also called as an ABC type of a fire extinguisher. Okay, now ABC refers to the types of fire. So it can take care of three types of fire: solid, liquid, gaseous, and is also effective on electrical fire. So this is the all-rounder in fire extinguishers, the ABC or the powder type. And this extinguisher you will find on all the floors in Ashok Towers. All the floors have a ABC type of a fire extinguisher. So that you can use it on any of the fires that occur in your homes. And the second is the carbon dioxide type of fire extinguisher. These is specifically for electrical fires. So this is kept in electrical panel rooms and meter rooms and there. So this is very effective against electrical fires basically. So these are the two types of fire extinguishers that we have. Then we saw in the video, there is a riser. Praful referred to a red line which is charged with water. So this is the schematic of that system. You got an underground tank, you've got a pumps which are installed there, and then you have got a line which is running through the pump. So when this pumps, this system is in pressure at the pump in the basement, this pressure is transmitted throughout the building. Pascal's law, it gets transmitted undiminished throughout the building. So you will have the same pressure across the entire pipe. So whenever you open any of the walls at any of the floors, you will have a pressure water gushing through, which will help you to extinguish a fire. So these are the equipment which are there. He demonstrated to you the hose reel drum, the hydrant valve, and the hoses which are there, right? So this is your riser system. Then you have a yard hydrant or a ring main in your open areas, in your common areas. So that again is the same pumps, the same tank in the basement, but a different line which is running through across your parking and open areas. So there again, you have the same pressure being given, and any wall that is open there, you will still have the same water gushing out. So this is specifically used for firefighters to attack a fire from outside the building. The riser system will help you attack the fire from inside. But when in case you cannot, have access to the inside of the building, these external hydrant system will help you. Praful showed you that which is there in your parking and basements. So this again is connected to a separate set of pumps, the sprinkler pumps that he mentioned. And this again has got a pipe network and a sprinkler, which you can see here close up. So this has this red color. This is a glass bulb, okay, with a filling inside. And this filling expands and it bursts the glass bulb at 68 degrees centigrade. Right. So whenever the temperature at the bulb reaches 68 degrees centigrade, the glass bulb will burst, and the water which is there in the pipeline behind it will come out gushing outside and extinguish the fire which is in the vicinity. So that's the sprinkler system. Then in addition to that, we have the fire detection and alarm system. So basically MCP that he mentioned, this is the MCP that you have on each floor. So this is basically used when you see a fire, to alert the rest of the residents about there being a fire in the building. You will use the MCP to alert the residents of the fire. There will be a beeper going off and a hooter going off, and the people, the ERT team, that Alpha Bravo teams that are there, they will come to know that there is a fire and they can respond fast. So that's the detection. There are smoke detectors also which are there in the lobby, and this panel which controls all of these operations. Right? Good till here. Can I proceed? A thumbs up would be good if I am getting through. Okay, fine. Then these are, thank you, Ms. Meena. Yeah, okay. So these are all what are known as the active fire protection systems. Okay, so these are systems which are actively helping you either detect the fire or fight the fire. Now, there are some passive components, fire protection components which are there. Now, when we say passive, these are there in the structure fixed. They don't help you fight the fire or detect the fire, but they help you evacuate the building or prevent the spread of fire. So what are these components? The fire doors, which are there on each of your floors, the staircase doors which are there, which are fire doors. So this prevent the fire opening which are there for the pipes, for the cables which go along the height of the building, at each floor there is a ceiling which is given with intumescent properties, so that the if there is a fire on any floor, it is restricted to that floor only. The smoke and fumes and heat cannot rise, because fire tends to rise very quickly, and the smoke. So to prevent that, we have to seal each and every opening. So that is done in your towers also. All the floors are sealed, so we can restrict the spread of fire, and that will give more time for the residents to evacuate. Similarly, there are signages which are very critical, which guide you to the nearest refuge or to the floor below, which I think Praful also showed you. We have got, the escape routes also very prominently displayed. These are very critical. And we have had an incidence of Kamla Mills a couple of years back, where we had 14 deaths just because there were no signages to take them to the exit. They all went into a toilet, and you know what happened there. So these are very critical. These have to be maintained. They are very low cost, but very critical. Then staircases, I think Mr. Anil also mentioned, keeping the staircases and lobby areas free from any obstructions is of paramount importance. Because what happens is, in case of a fire, there's a lot of black smoke, the visibility is low, there is a lot of heat, there is a lot of panic. So any obstruction, even a small piece of potted plant, or even a chapel for that matter lying there, could lead to a tripping of a person who's trying to use the staircase. And one person trips, you can have a stampede sorry, of people behind, they also tripping, and it could be a very difficult situation. So keeping all the staircases and all your common lobbies, lift lobbies and other areas and the refuge areas free of all obstructions. All means I can tell you, not even a chapel has to be there. Forget shoe racks and forget potted plants, forget benches, forget cycles, nothing needs to be there. So that is very critical. And so also the refuge areas there, we mentioned that. So those also have to be. So these are all these components are part of the passive fire protection system. Right. So this is as far as all the systems are there in Ashok Towers. Now, what does the Fire Act say? There is a Maharashtra Fire Prevention Act. So just from the statutory point of view, what are the laws that are governing the fire systems? So now Maharashtra Fire Prevention Act, sorry, Chapter 2, Clause 3.1 and 3.3, I have just taken an extract, which are the most relevant clauses, which says that the owner or the occupier shall maintain the fire prevention and life safety measures in good repair and efficient condition at all times. So there are a couple of very operative words here, which is saying the owner or the occupier. Okay, so it can be the owner or the person who's occupying. He may not be the owner, but then it's his responsibility to maintain in good repair and efficient condition. In efficient condition also, not only good repair. So this is very critical. And fortunately, at Ashok Towers, I think due to the Mancom, I think they take extreme care to ensure that all the things that are necessary are being done regularly as far as the fire prevention systems are concerned. So you can be rest assured on that part. Secondly, the other requirement of the Fire Act is that a certificate in the prescribed form has to be issued by a licensed agency. So that also we are auditing and checking the systems twice in a year and issuing a certificate. We are a licensed agency, A-class licensed agency, so we are doing that. So that also is in order as far as Ashok Towers is concerned. Next is, in case of any contraventions of the Fire Act, the provision which is there in Clause 3 is that there is a provision for rigorous imprisonment up to 3 years and a fine up to 50,000 rupees. Okay, so this is just where these things are not being complied with. So the statute is pretty tough, and the act is also pretty tough on that. Okay, so now we come to what are the do's that we should be doing to ensure that we keep ourselves fire safe. First of all, I think foremost is to learn to use the fire extinguisher. I think that was shown in the video, but I've got a small clip again. I will show you this. This is more systematic and more, maybe it will make it more clear. So this is a 2-minute video. I'll just switch it on. I would request you to go through.
Using them is really easy. They have to be operated on the principle of PASS. P-A-S-S. P stands for pull, that is, pull the pin given on the extinguisher to unlock it. A stands for aim, that is, aim the nozzle to the base of the fire. S stands for squeeze, that is, squeeze the handle till it sprays the extinguishing media onto the fire. And S stands for sweep, that is, keep sweeping the nozzle from one end of the fire to the other till it douses it entirely. तो याद रखें, extinguisher यूज करने की टेस्ट में आपको पास होना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. ये इजी टिप आपको और आपकी फैमिली को सेफ रख सकता है.
Okay, so PASS. I think to use a fire extinguisher, what we need to remember is the acronym PASS. Pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep across the length of the fire. Right? So this video is available on the YouTube. We have also shared with you, means with your FM team. You can have it on WhatsApp and refer to it as and when required. Second thing that needs to be done is maintain all the fire equipments regularly, which we are doing on your behalf with the Mancom and the facility team. So all your fire extinguishers, everything are operational. I think Praful demonstrated that to you in the video. Sorry. Next to do is conduct regular mock drills, which Anilji also referred to every quarter. At least take some time out and do this. We recommend at least once in a year minimum, if not twice in a year. These fire drills have to be done. That brings everybody together, and there is teamwork and also understanding of what is to be done in case of a fire. Third thing is within the house also, all the members should be aware of what are the precautions to be taken to ensure that fire safety is there, and that drill, like I mentioned, should be done twice a year. Now, kitchen is the main area where most of the fires originate. So ensuring that the kitchen is safe is very critical. For that, the LPG cylinders have to be kept in a vertical position. There should not be any switches or loose wires near the cylinder. The tube, sorry, the gas tube has to be regularly maintained, checked, and replaced every 2 years. The mains have to be switched off whenever you go out, and in the night also. There is a new equipment which is available which ensures the gas leak is prevented. I will share that as we go along in the video. And then there should be proper ventilation to your kitchen. So these are small things that we should be there. There are a couple of equipments which should be there. A fire blanket, a small extinguisher should be kept handy in the kitchen. Now, we come to what are smoke detectors, so that you don't need to do any wiring or anything. Earlier, the wiring and all that would have spoiled your interiors and the aesthetics. Now, with this battery operated thing, the battery lasts for almost 5 years. So you don't need to replace it very frequently. And they can be very easily mounted. Just 2 screws are required. And this is something that I think we should all adopt in all our homes, in each of the rooms that has, because during the night this can help give an alarm, and the reaction time becomes much faster. Same thing in the kitchen, especially you should have a fire blanket. We saw how we can smother a fire with a blanket. So a blanket in a kitchen and a small extinguisher is also necessary that you keep in a kitchen. Then now you have something called as a gas cylinder safety device, which ensures that the gas leakage is prevented completely. So these devices are now available, and I would strongly request that you have this device installed, which will eliminate gas leak completely. I've got a small YouTube video. I'll just show that to you. It's a 2-minute video that will show you how effective this device is.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to tell you about a special promotion that we're running for Dudley. Our
Sorry
flagship
about this
software
ad.
product that'll-
Okay, yeah.
देखिए मैंने दोनों नाक अभी ऑफ है, यहाँ पर हम दोनों ये ऑन करते हैं। अब हम यहाँ जाते हैं,
The
इससे क्या हो सकता है?
the safety device is below and the regulator is mounted onto the safety device.
हम नहीं चलाएंगे, देखो नहीं चला, ये देखिए आराम से चला। अब अगर ये जल रहा है,
If there is no flame, it will not allow the gas to flow.
मैं यहाँ से इसको दिखा, ये ऑफ हो गया। तो इसकी चाबी देखिए,
José, this video is not visible.
ये ऑफ हो गया।
Not visible?
अब जब तक इसको 2 बार
Oh,
पुश नहीं
okay,
करेंगे,
okay, one
2
second,
बार
one
इसको
second.
पुश करना है।
No, it is not visible.
One second. Let me see what.
दूसरी चीज में देखो,
Stop share. Okay. One second. Okay, I have to share that YouTube screen, right? Okay, now it's visible.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
मैंने दोनों नाक
Yeah.
ऑफ है।
The gas leak detector is below, and above that is the regular regulator.
देखिए इससे क्या हो सकता है? अगर हम ऐसे चलाएं, ये मैंने खोल दिया है, अभी हम
Without a flame, there is no gas flow which happens.
नहीं चला,
As soon as the flame is down, the gas starts flowing.
अब अगर ये जल रहा है, ये जल रहा है, मैं यहाँ से इसको दिखा, ये ऑफ हो गया। तो इसकी चाबी देखिए, ये देखो, ये ऑफ हो गया।
The flow has gone down to 0.
अब जब तक इसको 2 बार पुश नहीं करेंगे, 2 बार इसको पुश करना है, उसके बाद ही गैस आगे आ सकता है। अब दूसरी चीज मैं दिखाने जा रहा हूँ, ये देखिए,
See, there is no gas flow. Now he is starting the gas, but it goes off again.
हो गया, फिर ऑफ हो गया। इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर कुछ भी हो जाए, फिर एक बार फिर चेक करता हूँ, देखिए फिर ऑफ है। जब तक इसको पुश नहीं करेंगे, गैस आगे नहीं जाएगा। फिर मैं एक बार आपको दिखा देता हूँ।
Okay, so I think this was So this is that device. This basically what it does, it cuts off the flow when there is no flame, and if there is an excessive flame, also it cuts it off. Okay, so both ways it prevents the gas from leaking or a fire from escalating. Right. So this is this is a very recent addition of a safety device, so which I think we all should adopt for our safety. Next is what you need to do in case of noticing a fire is call the fire brigade immediately. 101 is the number. Anilji shared your intercom or the other numbers that are there for the ERT team to respond. Do not assume that somebody else has called. Please call. Stay calm. and evacuate. Okay, these are the steps that you need to take. And very critical is never take the elevator in case of a fire. Please use the stairs only. The stairs, you have a fire door, they have been kept secluded, so you won't have smoke or heat ingress into the stair. It's the safest place to evacuate. In a lift shaft, it's a enclosed shaft. You can have smoke and heat enter that shaft and you will be trapped. So never take the elevator, always use the stairs. And if you are stuck in a room, there is a fire outside in the lobby area, stay in the room, shut all the crevices with wet towels, and the fire brigade will reach you definitely. They've got the latest equipment and they will reach. You'll have to give yourself a little time. So avoid the smoke and heat to enter the room by using these basic things. Other recommendations for all the housing society members is that doors of terraces and refuge areas have to be kept shut but not locked. If it is locked, the key has to be available there because you don't know when you will need to use it. So this is mostly followed in Ashok Tower. So we should not be an issue. Grills on windows have to be openable. Ashok Tower doesn't have grills, so that's a good thing. Main doors of buildings should not be locked at night. There are many buildings where they lock the doors of the building at the night, so then escape becomes a problem. And the parked vehicles have to be parked properly. They should not be blocking any lanes. So that also is very effectively done by the security at our place. And we need to install LPG, CNG gas leak detectors in the kitchen and the other equipment that we just talked about. So these are the things that we should do. Now, if we come to don'ts, what we should not be doing is never leave the staircase doors open. That is sometimes people do. They use the fire extinguisher itself as a door stopper. If you look here, okay. So this is something that should not be done. The staircase doors have to be kept closed at all times. So that will ensure that there is no ingress of smoke or heat into the staircase at any level. Then we mentioned about this: no cycles, no plants, no furniture in any of the common areas, lobbies, staircases. This is an absolute no-no. And also having any clutter or equipment or anything in the refuge areas should be completely avoided. Then when you hear the fire alarm or you can see commotion, then don't waste time in taking personal belongings, laptop, wallets, jewelry. Life is paramount. Please evacuate first, and then these can always be retrieved later. Don't do overload a electrical socket or join wires means unscientifically. Electrical fires contribute the maximum to fires. Okay, electrical short circuit. So electrical circuits have to be taken care of properly. Then meter rooms, don't use it as storages. People put all sorts of stuff in electrical shafts and meter rooms. So that should be avoided, especially Diwali. Now that Diwali is coming very close, we should not keep any combustibles in the balcony or dry clothes, because in the night, if there are some rockets or something going off, they can catch fire. And never re-enter a building if there has been a fire till the fire brigade or the authorities tell you that it is safe to enter. Firefighting tanks, we saw in the video, you've got a 4 lakh liter firefighting tank. You may assume that 4 lakhs is a lot of water, but in case of a fire, even that can fall short, and you will have to augment the supply with tankers. So we have to ensure that the tanks are full at all times to see that the firefighting efforts do not suffer because of lack of water. Then do not decorate ceilings and walls with combustible materials such as wooden paneling and all that. They catch fire very quickly and can be a big hazard. And any alteration, additions, please inform the FM and if required the fire brigade, and take the necessary permissions before doing anything structural changes. I think, sorry, I'm going back. Yeah, now so we come to, so far so good. Am I okay? Can we go to the next section? That this is the final one. So some fire safety tips. So in case your clothes catch fire, then what do you do? So simple: stop, drop, and roll. See, any movement that you make, you run towards a water tap, or try to do anything, you will be, any movement will give it more air, so the fire will get more stronger, and the burns will be that much more severe. So what you need to do is stop where you are, drop down. So when you drop down, what you are doing, when you stop, you are not giving it more oxygen. When you drop down, what happens is fire tends to rise. So when you drop down, it gets that much less fuel. So the fire will diminish. And when you start rolling, you're cutting off the oxygen. So then the fire will die down. So the best thing is, if your clothes have caught fire, you have to stop in your tracks, whatever, wherever you are, and drop on the floor and start rolling. That will extinguish the fire in the quickest possible time. This is something that we should teach our kids also. Very important. Then there are various other tips which are there. There are fire circulars which are issued by MSWA, that is the Maharashtra Societies Welfare Association. So we, being part of it, we have got all those circulars there, so that you can access those on this WhatsApp number. You can subscribe to that, 86574428816. On that you will find all these fire circulars which are there, which will help for all your residential queries. Thank you very much. I hope I have done it, completed in time. In fact, about 32 minutes. So thank you very much. If there are any questions, I would be glad to answer.
So thank you, Rijer. Thanks a lot. So any questions? Otherwise, there are some questions in the chat. I can read that out.
Yeah, I'm just reading that.
Yeah.
This needs to be on ensuring that preventive measures to avoid emergencies situation. How you may be trained. Okay, so I hope I have touched on what are the safety precautions that we need to take, and how we can keep ourselves safe. Some of the tips will help in ensuring, in case of fire, what you are supposed to do. And your fire marshals, we train them in how to evacuate or rescue people with disabilities, or senior citizens, how they can be rescued. So there's a separate training that we give to your security team, so they are equipped to ensure that they can rescue people in case of an emergency. Is powder extinguisher effective against fire? Yeah, so this is a question from Mr. Sandeep. So yeah, like I said, a powder fire extinguishers is effective against electrical fires also. But a CO2 is much more effective against electrical fire. That's why where you have a case of only electrical fires, you keep a CO2 extinguisher. But otherwise, if you have a powder, you can use it definitely on electrical fires also. And one thing about electrical fires, what happens, Mr. Sandeep, is that the electrical fire is only till you have a current in the system or on the in the cables. As soon as you switch off the electricity, then it is a normal A type of a fire, because there is a solid plastic or that type of material which is burning. So it becomes an A type of a fire, and the ABC, the powder type extinguisher, is very effective against that. Right? And in case of any electrical fire, the first thing that you need to do is switch off the electricity. Mrs. Vandana is asking how to take bedridden people. Yeah, so like I said, that's a complete rescue act which needs to be there. There are evacuation chairs which are available. There is a fireman lift by which you can take a person to safety. So there is a forearm lift and different two-person cradle and various types of ways in which rescue can be effected. And these methods are taught to your security team. In case any of the residents would like to learn these techniques, I'm sure Mr. Anil can arrange for that, and we can have a training session on rescue techniques for the residents. So we would be very glad to take that up at any time that is suitable.
Anil,
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Anil?
Yes, Mr. Dhanuka, please go ahead.
Anil, am I audible, Anil?
Yeah, Mr. Dhanuka, you are audible.
Anil,
Please ask.
okay. Mr. Jujair, thank you very much for good, very informative session. I have one suggestion that, as you rightly said, that electrical fire are the most common starting point for this big fires. So in our Ashok Tower, in our electrical panel room, we have two types of circuit breakers for cutting off the electric supply. One is that MCB or something like that. Another is the earth leakage circuit breaker.
ELCB. Yeah.
So So these are some about 14-15 years old. I think it has been put by Legard, which was of course one of the reputed supplier. But some of these circuit breakers have now gone out of market. And I suspect that some of these are not working properly. So as a audit check, I think this in every flat, this should be either owners should get it checked, or as a society, if we can get them checked. Because some of these earth leakage circuit breaker or even the main MCB, they are not working, then the individual fuses will not trip. So electric supply will not cut off.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. And secondly, there is this fire alarm has unfortunately a very strong word to use is that it is sort of become a joke. So many times the spurious alarm for last about 7, 8, 10 years that nobody takes these fire alarms seriously. This is a very, very serious matter. I mean, either something should be definitely done that spurious fire alarm should be stopped. So these are my two suggestions.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, Mr. Dhanuka, for those questions. Regarding the electrical circuit, see, if it is 14-15 years, what the National Building Code says is there has to be an electrical audit done every 2 years. Okay, so there are certified electrical system auditors. So that needs to be carried out. Means I can share those details, and if that is carried out, I think all these issues would get covered under that. And as regards the fire alarms, means okay, there were problems with the panels earlier, but they have more or less been rectified now over the last. I think there were some panels which were non-functional. There were some major motherboard issues in the panels. So those have been taken care of over a period of time, and now I believe those false alarms should have come down. If they are not, then I'll get back to my team and we'll try and work out a solution.
Mr. Juraj, I think on the fire alarm, even if they have been corrected, I don't know whether they have been corrected. First, you please ensure that they have been corrected. Then people have to be very, very seriously informed that no fire alarm, there is no spurious fire alarm, and every fire alarm, it should be taken very seriously, and people at least should come out and assemble in the refuge area or whatever best they should do. But right now, because it has opened for last so many years, that nobody takes, and when we try to call this intercom, invariably they are not reachable. Or they even sometime our lobby receptionist would say, sir, let me check or let me inform. something like that. He is also not very clear that yes, he says yeah, fire alarm is ringing, but let us see, it may be a spurious alarm. So people really don't know what to do. And so if it has been corrected, very good, but then people should be.
We lost Mr. Dhanuka, I think. Yeah, so I think the point is well taken. Anilji, we'll have to take it up with the FM team. If there is some shortcoming in the, focus on the fire system, we will try and address that. And I'm sure the false alarms have come down. I think all of you need to corroborate that. Are there false alarms going off even now? There were issues earlier, I know, but over a period of time, we have rectified. We have removed those faulty panels and smoke detectors.
Mr. Jose,
Anilji?
it happened in Tower A around 1 month back. There was false fire alarm, and frankly, nobody bothered. Even we also didn't bother because but Mr. Dhanuka raised the point. That's absolutely correct. There is no significance given to any fire alarm anytime. I'll be honest with you.
That's very bad. So, okay. So let me take it up with your FM team and understand where this thing is, because we get a complaint if there is any issues with the system during the course of the operation, because we visit once in a quarter to take care of the fire alarm system. So if there are any issues, we get a call. So I don't recollect recently that we have had any calls regarding false alarms, but that apart, if you are saying so, I will take it up with my own team and FM, and we'll try and ensure that these things do not happen.
Please, you can check for 8 hours. In last 1.5 months, one incident happened, and it was something wrong with the fire alarm system itself. There was no fire, but it just on one floor, what I recollect, it triggered, and there was nothing.
Sir, what happens is sometimes what we have also noticed is people use that MCP.
You plan it
and all that, they go and operate the MCP, because you just have to press it a little hard and the alarm gets
sometimes sometimes some child or he just stand by the alarm, that can also create. But the problem is nobody takes seriously.
So that's our outlook, that and our own safety setup that we need to look at. So yes, all of us need to contribute towards that.
All of we try to call reception, we try to call that whatever fire marshal.
I think we have lost you, Mr. Dhanuka.
So many calls or whatever, but unfortunately never it happens. So you please just get it checked whether even if you have a mock alarm, whether people take any seriously. Just try to check it.
Sure, sir. We will take it up with Mancom and FM team and see how we can.
And that MCB and earth leakage circuit breaker also, because you are from the fire side, so perhaps you have to talk to our Mancom team or facility management team that required whatever audit or anything needs to be done, then that should be done.
Sure, sir. I'll definitely take it up with them. Yes.
Mr. Anil, I have one point. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Anil, see, we definitely keep doing some kind of sessions related to fire, but sometimes in my mind strikes, if earthquake comes, then what needs to be done? I haven't seen ever any guidelines coming in. Let's say if any such situation comes, what we need to do, what are the right steps to be taken, where we should go, where we should gather. Definitely we can't gather in refuge area. If we can have one small session related to that also, if you have any experts in our facility management team, or if you can call somebody, I think guidance on this front will also be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. So we will have one session actually where we will do all these earthquake and other emergencies, and also medical emergencies, CPR and all other first aid things. So we will have one session in next couple of months. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Anil. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. So thank you, Mr. Jujair. Thanks a
Thank
lot
you,
for
my
this
pleasure.
nice presentation and your presence. Thank you very much. And thank you all the residents who are here and joined earlier as well. So thanks a lot to all of you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.